Guys, please, I really need you to repost this particular one for me because a lot of thinking went into it. Okay, thank you. We are still on the force 9 issue. Guys, in football, for you to be force of something, you are supposed to be half of that, or your responsibility requires half of that. That cannot be compromised. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. That cannot be compromised. For you to be a half of anything in football, I repeat, you are supposed to be half of that particular thing. And let's take this into movie settings. For us who like the werewolf and the vampire movies, there's always this one guy they call the hybrid. He is half vampire, half werewolf. If anyone thinks he's a vampire, the one is not wrong. If you think he's a werewolf, you are not wrong. You cannot call him a lion, though. That he is not. That is how the force thing works. For you to be a force of anything in football, you are supposed to be half of that simply because of the physics, dynamics, and the size of the field. So if you have observed closely, you hardly hear anyone relate that force number 19 to a number 6 or a number 5. The size of the field doesn't allow you. Anyone they call a force number 9, it's already closer to that particular position. Okay, so let's start from there. And then I ask people this all the time. What do you think the 4-4-2 concept means, or the old school 4-4-2 way of playing football, which is almost the genesis of all we are looking at now? What do you think that means? 4 defenders, 4 midfielders, 2 attackers. Guess who is part of the 2 attackers or 2 strikers? The number 10. Start from there. The number 10 is a striker. At the time when they use the term position, they meant that literally. Okay, so they say the right back position or the left back position, they mean the defender who is coming from the right or the defender who is coming from the left. And then they realized it was limited thinking the game that way. So they expanded the whole scope, and then everything on the field became a concept. Okay, is there a reason why you have the same number 2s but playing it differently? Gary Neville doesn't play the same as Cafu. Cafu doesn't play the same as Dani Alves or Trent. They all play it differently. So the inverted and the force 19, they are just tactical twists. They are different from direct tactical formation. And this is where the direct tactical formations comes in. I know I'm saying a lot, but please follow me. The direct tactical formation are when Man City does that a lot. When they want to rest a Rodri, or Rodri is tired, he's injured, and then they lift Stones and play him as a number 6. That is not a tactical twist. That is a direct tactical formation. 4-5, they are all there. 2-3. He is not acting. He is playing as a number 6 that particular day. But the inverted and the force 9, they are just tactical twists. And guess what? When you invert from somewhere to another thing, where you have inverted from, that role is still yours. So you are looking at Zinchenko, you are looking at Trent. If they invert into the middle, their team is also expecting them. The very moment the number 7 and number 11 get there, you should be there defending that particular spot. You are just inverting to do another role in addition to your role. And this thing has expanded because of one guy who put a little thing in my comments, and that makes sense a lot. So a force 9 already has number 9 symptoms in him, or he is a number 9 acting as if he is not a number 9. You cannot say he's not a number 9. If someone says he's a number 9, but we are debating about the dynamics of how his 9 is being played, that makes sense. But you cannot say he's not it. Because that's why I said the vampire analogy for you, or the hybrid werewolf vampire analogy for you. That is how basically the force 9 thing works. And then I like to say this all the time, okay? In football, no footballer is anything. Your kind of footballer is what the tactical formation says you are. Let me repeat that again. In football, no one or no footballer is anything. Your kind of footballer is what the tactical formation says you are. Is the reason why there are certain players, we knew them as defenders back in the day. Now they are attackers. Mikel Antonio, for example, if you are young, you didn't even know he was a defender. He was a full-time defender back in the day. Now we have all forgotten because the new tactics he is fitting in tells us he's not a defender. So I understand when people are trying to argue if he's a number 9, he's not a number 9. But I'm saying for you to be force of something, you are already half of it, or your responsibility requires half of it. So you can't think, or you can't say people who think he's a number 9 are wrong. It is you who is saying the guy is not a number 9 entirely. You are the one who is wrong. Because the responsibility and the actions of him proves he's doing half of that particular thing. I don't know if that makes sense. I think I've said everything on my mind.